Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jo Flick with the Montana State Library, and I am here with Emily Dunklee from the Office of Public Instruction here in Montana, and she's going to give us an overview of the Summer Food Service Program, some of the things that that program has been doing with our libraries around Montana, and answer everybody's questions about what it takes to get involved. So, Emily, take it away.
All right, thanks, Jo. Thanks for having me today on a nice sunny Missoula afternoon. We'll go ahead and get started here on our slides. So, like I said, my name's Emily Dunklee. I am a Summer Food Service Program Manager at OPI School Nutrition Programs. So a little bit about our office, just to get us started. At our office at OPI and School Nutrition Programs, we oversee 8 or 9 federal child nutrition programs across the state. Some of these operate during the school year. In fact, most of them operate during the school year. And the one we're going to talk about today is the Summer Food Service Program, which operates in the summer. So the Summer Food Service Program provides free meals to all kids age 18 and under. Kids just have to show up and eat. There's no registration for the program, no application, just a meal in the sunshine in the summer. So a little bit about why this program is so important to us. During the school year, we have about 258 school districts that operate school nutrition programs, meaning the National School Lunch Program, School Breakfast Program, After School Snacks, Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program. So a lot of different nutrition access across the school day. And about 45% of Montana students enrolled in those schools receive those meals at a free or reduced price. So we have a fairly high need in Montana for nutrition access during the school day. We have about 152,000 kids enrolled in schools that have lunch programs. And over the last school year, we served over 19 million meals at those schools with child nutrition programs. And we're going to contrast that to the summer program. The Summer Food Service Program is newer than our other nutrition programs. So this program only came to be in the 1970s. So it's fairly new, and it operates only during the summer when there's no access to school meals. And in Montana, we have about 89 sponsors operating at 239 summer sites across the state. And you can see down here, the number of meals served in this program is drastically different than the meals served during the school year. We served, if you remember, over 19 million meals during the school year for breakfast, lunch, snacks, and again, just over 500,000 during the summer. And some of that has to do with the fact that, the school year programs go 9 months, August to typically May, whereas the summer program only operates for 3 months out of the year, usually June, July, and August for most locations. And the way the program works in Montana and nationwide for funding, it is a USDA child nutrition program, so they're the ones that fund the program annually through Congress. Every state then oversees the Summer Food Service Program at the state level. In Montana, that office is the Office of Public Instruction School Nutrition Programs. And then our office contracts with local sponsors. Sponsors apply to be part of the program. So for the Summer Food Service Program, it's a little bit different than our school year programs. School year programs can only be run by private or public schools. In the Summer Food Service Program can be run by schools, private nonprofits, government agencies, and tribal government. So it's a little more open to more people operating the program. So sponsors contract with us, they apply to be a part of the program, and then sponsors decide locally where they would like to have sites. And sites are where meals are served to kids during the summer. So that's where a lot of libraries can come in. So libraries have, in my vision of things, have 4 different ways to get involved with the summer program. And they each have their own merits or things to consider when you're looking at how you want to get involved. So we'll go through each of these. Libraries can become summer sites. You can partner with existing sites. You can become a sponsor, since most libraries are private nonprofits. and help us advertise existing sites. That's a huge one. So we'll start with becoming a site. So last time I crunched the numbers, about 83% of Montana public libraries were eligible to serve as an open summer food site. So 92 out of 111 libraries in Montana. And again, an open summer food site means that any kid off the street can come to the site and get a free meal at the site. So the way we qualify sites nationwide and in Montana is using site eligibility. So in order to be an open site, you have to qualify either using school data or census block group data. And those two data points have to show, or one of the two data points need to show that your location is at least 50% free and reduced eligible for children 0 to 18. So like I said in the last slide, about 92 of the libraries in Montana meet one of these two criteria. So once a location becomes a site, it's up to the sponsor and the site to decide what meals they're going to offer. So sites can do up to 2 meals a day per site. You can do any combination of meals at a site except lunch and dinner together. That one is restricted by the USDA, but sites can do breakfast and lunch. They could do lunch and snack, breakfast and snack. There's lots of options. So what's on the screen right now is what sites have to at least offer to all kids. This program does function on a minimum meal pattern, meaning that to get reimbursement, you have to minimally offer these components for each meal. You can always go above and beyond these meal patterns, especially looking at breakfast. We always tell sponsors that if you're serving teenagers and you gave them 1 ounce of grain, which is the equivalent of a slice of bread, half a cup of fruit, and 8 ounces of milk, they might come back at you with, I'm still hungry. So just some food for thought on the meal patterns. So the easiest way to become a site is to find an existing sponsor in your town. And that's something we can help you with at OPI. If you're not sure if you have a local sponsor, you can certainly call me. My number is right here, the 461-9917 number. Or you can check out this really nifty tool from the USDA called the Capacity Builder for summer. It's a mapping database that you can select lots of different layers to. So you can select a layer that shows whether or not your site is eligible. You can show where all public libraries are in the nation. It can show you where public schools are located, museums, churches, what else? There's a whole bunch of, HUD housing, RD housing, lots of different things on that tool. And it'll also show you what sponsors are in the area. And if we have time at the end and you guys want to see this, I can definitely do a little tour of the Capacity Builder. I've got it pulled up for us. There are quite a few communities in Montana that don't have sponsors. We, like I said earlier, have 89 sponsors in the state, and we don't have one in every single county, but chances are there's one near you, and just give us a call and we'll connect you. As of last summer, our Summer Food at Libraries initiative has really taken off. In the previous summers, 2016, I believe, was the first year we had, or no, 2015 was the first year we had a site at a library. The first library to launch this was the Missoula Library. And then last year in 2015, Missoula was the first site. 2016, Bozeman Public Library added, and Drummond Library. And then in 2017, last year, we had all these libraries in orange add to the program and become sites under existing sponsors. These sites served quite a few meals. All of them are set up completely different. So just for example, Missoula Public Library, their sponsor is the Missoula Food Bank. So the Missoula Food Bank is the entity that makes the meals, and then they deliver the meals to the library. And then I think how they do it is they partner between the librarians and the food bank volunteers and staff to serve the meals. And then sometimes there's a librarian on site that'll read to kids or do activities. The Bozeman Public Library, oh, and I should mention the Missoula Public Library serves their meals indoors in their community room. The Bozeman Public Library started off getting involved with the program by doing uh, activities. They would bring their mobile bookmobile to sites. And then last 2 years ago, they started a site at the library just out front. They've got a really nice grassy area. And the Gallatin Valley Food Bank is their sponsor. So Gallatin Valley Food Bank makes the meals, brings them to the site, and they have staff that serve the meals to kids. And then the librarians would help do activities or bring families outside to the site if they were inside checking out books. I haven't had a chance to check in with all of these sites to see how their setup goes exactly, but just know that if you're working with an existing sponsor, you can always negotiate or work through how you want to set up uh, your connection with your sponsor. So maybe it would work best if the sponsor was the one that made the meals, brought them to the site, and served them. But maybe your local sponsor will come back and say, you know, we really don't have the staffing or volunteer levels to be able to serve the meals. Could you help us out with that and provide someone for an hour that could serve the meals and count the meals as they're served? If you need some tips on how to start that conversation with your local library or your local summer food sponsor, let me know. That is something we can absolutely help with, or help put you in connection with a local sponsor and start that conversation.
I have volunteered with this program before. Here in East Glacier, we had a program a couple summers ago, and it was basically all volunteer run. And we went and picked up meals from where they were created at Browning Public Schools. They were the ones who made the meals. We picked them up and brought them up, and it's just a simple form that we filled out as people came in, as kids came in, and then we took care of the extra meals. That anything that was left over, and that was it. I mean, it was for me. It was, I don't know, an hour and a half's work, and I had 1 day a week that I signed up to do it for the summer. It turned out to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, and that, yeah, some librarians, sounds like you guys had a site in East Glacier and you volunteered so kindly to go pick up the meals from Browning and bring them to your site, which is a huge help for sponsors if they're limited staff or limited transportation money.
Well, and we're a
Um,
small community too, so it wasn't like we were talking about dozens of meals. I was picking up like 10 usually was the number that we had, somewhere between 10 and 12, 15 on a busy, when things got busy and started to pick up. So, it
yeah,
wasn't, you can do this on a really small scale, is my point. If there's somebody nearby that is already making the meals, they don't
yeah.
mind. They love having these little extension groups delivering them.
Yeah, and that leads really nicely into our second way to get involved with sites, is to partner with existing sites. So if you can't be a physical site yourself, going and bringing books to sites is a huge help, or bringing activities to existing sites. Some sites are in parks, some are at schools, some are at public pools, some are at housing authority locations. They really vary across the state. But as you guys know, the more access to literacy programming kids can get throughout the summer months really helps prevent summer slide when kids get back to school in the fall. Uh, and by you guys providing that kind of activity, just reading to kids at summer sites, that is a huge way to make sure kids have the biggest step up they can have in the summer. And that just takes calling your local sponsor and say, hey, I really want to get involved. We don't necessarily have the facilities at our library to be a site, but we'd love to bring our library to you. I know Missoula has a mobile bookmobile that they can bring around to sites. And I think a few other libraries around the state have done that kind of partnership with their summer sponsors. The third way to get involved with the program, like we talked about earlier, is to become a sponsor. So there are quite a few counties that don't have a summer site or a summer sponsor. Becoming a sponsor takes a little bit more involvement. You take on the financial responsibility of the program, the food ordering and food prep responsibility, and the responsibility of submitting the claims for reimbursement to us. So you get paid to be a sponsor. So this is one that if you are really motivated to get something happening in your town, you can definitely go this route as libraries if you're a private nonprofit, 501c3, or an entity of local government. I know libraries typically fall within one of those two options. And this is one that I can give you more information if it's something that piques your interest. Otherwise, trying to find other local sponsors is a good way to go. And then another huge help to our programs, whether or not you're a site or whether or not you're helping do activities at sites, is to help us advertise for sites. So parents and families, typically what we see, aren't even aware that this program exists. It's kind of the neglected stepchild of school nutrition programs because it doesn't operate at school, so people don't really know it's there. But these are our outreach flyers for the year. The Montana Food Bank Network is one of our partners, and they so generously print these for us every single year and send them out to schools, their food pantries, and they'll actually be sending them to you guys again this year. All public libraries will receive these flyers, and there's also business cards that come along with these that you can hand out to families or have out on counters around the library. And then two cool things about trying to find a summer site is that we send data directly to the USDA every single week on what sites are operating where. So families can text this number that's on the sheet here. They can text summer meals to 97779, and it'll text back the, I think it's 3 or 5 nearest sites to their physical location where they're at right now. You can also go to that usda.gov/summer food rocks map and type in your town, and it'll pop up all the sites that are surrounding your area. Both of these databases won't be live until the summer starts operating. So nothing will show up on these until we submit data that sites are open. So that won't be in probably the end of May. You can look on the capacity builder that we were talking about earlier with being able to see what sponsors and what sites were operating last year. You can pull down on that capacity builder a filter to show you where sites were last year. So if you're not sure if your town had a summer site last year, that's a good place to look. And then this year in May, when the new sites start operating, the Summer Food Rocks map is a great way to see where they are. And the map will show, along with the text, show what meals are being offered, what days of the week, what months they operate, and what meals they offer. So a lot of information on these two locations and easy ways for families and kids to find where they can get a meal in the summer. So if you want more of these flyers, you can call the food bank, and they're usually pretty happy to send you more if you are really good at papering your town with flyers and want to take that on. We would love you forever for it. We really want to get the word out about the summer program. Getting more kids to sites really helps sponsors be successful. They, in order to operate, have to get enough kids to make it financially worthwhile for them with the reimbursement rates that they get from us. So the more kids they can get, the better outcomes for kids. They get nutrition all summer long, so they don't come back to school feeling behind. Families get the load of not knowing where their next meal is going to come from. They get that load off their shoulders and can focus on just having fun in the summer. Summer is supposed to be fun for kids. That's the idea. And then this is a really great way, too, to build community. If you've got kids and families coming to the summer site together to have a picnic lunch, it's a really neat conversation starter or community builder. On the summer program, if any of this piques your interest, if you want to learn more about the summer program, you can always call me. My number is on this slide here. You can email me if you want to find a nearby sponsor. And I put up here our summer food webpage. So that's got information on where to find sites. It's got information about what the program is. and lots of resources are posted on there. So do you guys have any questions about the summer program or about where it's being implemented right now?
I think we have a couple people here who have participated before, so let me unmute everybody's mics. Hi, everybody. So you all can talk, and I will.
Is there a way to tell which counties do not have local sponsors?
Okay. I don't have a easy to, like, I don't have a report that shows which counties don't currently have sites. That's something I could probably hash together from a few different reports I have in our online system. If that's something you would like to take a peek at, I can get it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Counties without sites. All right.
And that was Annika.
And some of the counties,
right? Annika,
okay. Yeah, Annika.
Annika, and you're from Stevensville. Okay.
Yeah, and I know there's a few sites down the Bitterroot Valley in Ravalli County, and there's going to be a few more, I think, this summer.
Wonderful.
That have, yeah, but that is an area that's historically been pretty void of summer sites in the last few summers. So we're excited to start getting some more sites down the valley.
Yeah.
And there are a few counties that don't have sites because there's nowhere that qualifies. We have a few sites that are so sparse in population, all the data shows there's only 5 people living there, and none of them are on free and reduced meals, apparently. Which how accurate that data is, who knows? It's based on Census Bureau data. But.
Yeah, I would that. So we can almost imagine where those counties are in the eastern part of the state, and yeah, I think you can. If you are looking for a partner site, which it sounds like you might be looking for, Annika, then you can always just email Emily as well. There's her email right there, and just say, following up, can you get me in contact with people who are signed up for this summer? And then you can talk with them and decide what's best, whether you bring a program to their site or whether you offer 1 or 2 meals or a snack at your library and make that available, and just work out the logistics of how the food gets from one place to the other.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be different in every community. It's been our experience so far. That's kind of the Montana way, though.
Isn't it?
It is. I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording. And if you are listening to the recording, you may just check for any of the links today. I'm going to put some of those right there on the description for the webinar, for the video, so that you can click on those. And so just go back to the description and find those clickable links, and let us know if there's anything else you want to know about this program. Thanks.